No, that's not right. That was a clumsy intro. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for clicking on my video. Today I'm doing this eyeshadow look using these two palettes. Just one shade from here. It's a palette pull-in project, but it's mainly this palette. I'm also going to be sharing with you like a quarterly update on my 2025 goals, chatting about how things are going, where I'm doing well, and where I need to be focusing a bit more, we'll say. And of course, I'd love to hear yours as well. So let's go. I'm playing with two different palettes, mainly the Dragon Eye palette from What's Up Beauty. It's beautiful, it's a great formula, and it looks like this. And I heard a couple people, actually, I saw a few people on Instagram mention that this looks a lot like the new palette from Pat McGrath, no idea what it's called. But it's actually colorful for once. It's not 50 Shades of Pink or Beige, and it looks a lot like this one. This shade and this shade look exactly the same in the PMG palette. These two, yeah, I'll show you on the screen while I'm talking. But anyway, I wanted to play with this because it's beautiful and I really like the What's Up formula. Also, I have a new palette pull-in. If you don't know, palette pull-in is a little side project I have where a random generator chooses any palette from within my eyeshadow collection and I have to work through the shades in consecutive order. And this is fun because sometimes I was just working through a hot pink palette and it was fun to try to incorporate very pink tones into an eye look that maybe I wasn't planning on using pink. This is the opposite. This is the Sorcerer's Smoke palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. It is neutral. It's a very beautiful neutral palette and I will be working through the shades in consecutive order. This shade is currently in my BYOP, but it's going to take me a while to get there, and when I do I'll have to go to the BYOP to use it and then come back to this palette. So starting off today with this shade right here, which I think will be an easy fit with the Dragon Eye palette. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Glam Light Icing Primer and we're going to get going. So check the description box for specifics as to everything that I'm using today. I'm not sure if you'll notice my lighting might be a bit off. Usually I film with a ring light, but my toddlers have very helpfully broken it for me. So I actually had a second ring light and I thought, oh my goodness, this is so convenient that when they broke one, I could just pull in the backup. But now the backup's not working. So I'm not really sure why. I need to troubleshoot a little bit. Anyway, it is at least working as a stand for my phone, and since I film in front of a window, I'm getting some decent natural lighting. Hopefully it's not too bad. We'll see when the editing process begins. I'm going to start with the Dragon Eye palette. It's so beautiful. I think the last time I used this palette, I used the Scales shade, which is this blue-purple duochrome. And I have that purpley black-based shimmer in the Sorcerer's Smoke palette. So maybe I'll avoid that today and do something else. Maybe I'll do something else. But let's start off with some mattes. I do wish that this palette had one lighter matte. I don't know exactly what I would have done to tweak, but I would have tweaked somehow to make it really perfect for me. Let's grab the shade, let's grab the shade Creature. All right, so let me just jump to this discussion topic, 2025 goals and how I'm doing. In no particular order, one of the things I specifically wanted to focus on this year was to use up a bunch of half-empty products. Specifically in my shower, I felt like I had a bunch of half bottles. Also lip products, I have lots of lip stuff. So far I have used up one. I think it was a conditioner. I forgot to write down what it was. I was thinking of saving the empties and then I thought, nobody comes on YouTube to look at somebody else's trash, right? I mean, I guess some people do. I don't, and I didn't really care to have a bunch of empty containers laying around my house until I was ready to film an update video. So I just figured I would jot it down instead. So I believe it was a conditioner or a leave-in conditioner maybe. I love that tone. That's so pretty. It's like a brown-based peach. In the pan, it looks more brown actually, but on my skin anyway, it looks slightly peach leaning. As far as lip products, I'm almost done 2 or 3. No, I'm almost done 3. So hopefully I'll remember to include them in my next quarterly update. But there is one that I ended up throwing away. It was a NYX Butter Gloss in the shade, I think, Eclair, and I threw it away because it was just such a terrible color on me. I didn't enjoy wearing it. It didn't look good with anything, and I got rid of it. I'm taking a clean blending brush and softening this. Another category for my 2025 goals was movement. And my goal between 24 and also 25 was simply to move. Just do something, anything at all, because I feel like my life is too sedentary. So to that end, I have been going on frequent walks, usually about 3 a week, and I just decided that in the mornings, when the day is nice, my kids and I will go for a walk after breakfast, because it feels easier to do it at the beginning of the day than to, you know, interrupt the flow of the day and wake people from naps and stuff, and also interrupt getting ready for dinner to go for a walk in the afternoon. And we live somewhere where the afternoons can be quite hot, so a morning walk just seems to make more sense. I'm gonna grab a little bit of Spikes and Powerful just to deepen this space here, because I think they're gonna be really pretty together. But before we go for walks, I've also been trying to wake up a little earlier and do some kind of, I won't even say workout per se, but again, just some kind of movement early in the morning when the house is quiet and nobody needs me, basically. And that could be anything. It could be using my mini stepper, it could be doing a calisthenics workout or following a YouTube video, could be using my free weights for a while, anything at all, anything at all. And I did that pretty consistently for like a week, and then I got lazy, and then I did it again, then I got lazy. There's been more an ebb and flow than I would prefer, but this again is still progress, because before I was doing nothing. So this comes down to discipline and making myself get up and do that. I did buy workout clothing that will help me just be more comfortable. I guess sort of put me in the mood to work out or exercise. I don't necessarily want to do it in my pajamas, but I don't want to do it in the clothes I'm wearing for the day, because then they might get all sweaty. So I got some like workout clothes that will help me with that goal. And I found that to be the case. So I'm glad of that. Food was a really big category for me. Not that we ate a lot of junk food, but I felt like over time I was overeating when it comes to calories. Like I just didn't need to be taking in as much as I was for the amount of activity in my life. Even though I have little kids, we just don't do a lot of physical stuff. And that was reinforced by the fact that I was gaining or maintaining my weight, which was too high for my body. And I was thinking, well, that just means that I'm bringing in too much. I'm not using everything, and it's being stored in my body. So I have made a concentrated effort to focus on smaller portions. So if I'm going to have, you know, an egg sandwich for lunch, instead of having 2 eggs on 2 pieces of bread, I'll make 1 egg and have it as an open sandwich on 1 piece of bread. So I'm kind of cutting my portions in half mentally, physically as well, obviously, but I'm still satiated. I don't feel like I'm losing energy or I'm lethargic or anything. I still feel fine. So I'm clearly still getting enough calories. And the thing that goes hand in hand with that, I'm going to take the shade Nightshade in Sorcerer's Smoke. This is my palette pull-in, of course. And I'm going to put this here in the center of my lid. It's quite monochromatic with everything else that's going on, so I don't want it to be all over the place. I want there to be some contrast. What goes hand in hand with this food goal is to increase my protein, because I was finding that when I don't eat enough protein, I get headaches throughout the day, and this was pretty consistent. Day after day I was getting headaches. One day I had this huge breakfast that was really high in protein. It was just steak and eggs, and I felt great the whole day, and nothing else was different. So when I started experimenting with the macros, we'll say, you know, protein, fat, carbs, etc., I noticed that protein needed to be quite present. I'm taking the shade I'm gonna take Myth. It's, again, this look is kind of a little on the darker side, but I'm gonna brighten the inner corner. But I think that's really pretty. 50% smaller portions, but still paying attention to what the nutritional components. So smaller portions, but higher protein. And if I'm gonna eat a larger meal, I want it to be either breakfast to start the day on a day when I really need extra reserves, like if we are at homeschool group, or on the day-to-day at home, it's lunch is the larger meal. That's lovely. Also hand in hand with this food stuff is trying to get to bed a little earlier and also drink more water. I've been doing good, again, ebb and flow. I'll really focus for a week and I do great. And in those weeks, I'm seeing good changes with my numbers, like I'm doing measurements and weighing in and whatnot. I see good numbers. But then I get a little lazy for the following week. And when I get a little lazy, things don't change as much. So I feel like I've got a good system. This is the shade Creature again. It's just a matter of disciplining myself to actually stay on track. However, I am happy that I'm finding something which I think is working for me. Long term, I need to see numbers, and that's not going to happen until I can discipline myself to do it long term. But progress, definitely some progress. I mentioned a bunch of hobbies in my 2025 video, I'm going to take the shade Fly and put that here in my inner corner. A bunch of hobbies like reading, which is something I love to do. I just needed to do it. So I've done that pretty well the last week or two. And, ooh, that's so pretty. Let's drag it a little bit. Okay, YouTube. I have not been watching so many YouTube videos, which is probably ironic given the fact that you guys are watching me film a YouTube video. But I haven't been, I think it was getting to the point where I was wasting time, throwing my brush, wasting time watching videos when I should have been doing other things. And there's nothing wrong with watching a video while I do the dishes. And that's what I've been focusing on, like putting on a show that I want to see while I'm doing something else, which doesn't require brain power, so I can focus on the two things. But I don't need to just sit with my phone, and I don't need to put on a YouTube video when I should be working at my art desk, working on my business. So yes, it's been less YouTube, but when I have been watching YouTube, it's been at better times, and times that make more sense, and I'm still able to be productive, like folding laundry maybe. And singing was another really big hobby. So I won a competition, I got to sing in the Christmas concert, and now in 2025, I'm preparing to sing at a gala event. I hope that's not the last event they call me for. I would be thrilled if it's 6 to 8 things throughout the year. Hey Rachel, will you come do this? And I would love that so much. I want to deepen my outer corner just a tiny bit, so I'm going to grab the shade Powerful. As far as homemaking, because I did mention that just now, I'm doing probably about the same. I have not yet gotten on top of, I'm picking up smoke as well. I've not yet gotten on top of my chores really. Like, I keep up with daily chores pretty well. Currently there's a pile of dishes in my sink, but it's going to be dealt with this afternoon, you know. And I am keeping up with laundry and things like that on the whole. But other chores like cleaning windows, bathrooms, I'm still not on top of that. So there's definitely a lot of progress to be made in that area. And then the final category, I think, if I can remember correctly, was my business. I have a small art business, and I have done better so far this year. Sitting down and practicing, just practicing the skills. And also I'm starting to try out this is a smudger brush into smoke. I'm starting to try out a new technique, a new version of art, we'll say. I do calligraphy and watercolor, but now I'm trying my hand at semi-abstract acrylic. And I have a plan that I'm sort of trying to flesh out a bit as far as creating something that's a little more unique and also plays into all of my interests. We'll see how that develops over time, but it has been fun. It has really been fun to play and to experiment, and I need to set it aside and work on my standing order for this month, but I have been really enjoying trying something new and seeing what my place is in that style. I am, however, still very behind in Instagram posts for both calligraphy or my business and eyeshadow. I'm just way behind. I feel like I only have so much bandwidth for social media and screens sort of things, and it's like, okay, it's a filming day, that means it's not a posting day. Or it's an editing day, it's not a posting day. Posting just falls low. Social media and marketing and all that stuff is not my strength. But again, as a small business owner, you have to wear a lot of hats. So I kind of need to figure it out, right? I just need to create a schedule for myself. And if I could get caught up, then maybe creating a schedule would feel less daunting. I'm gonna do the other side. Really happy with how this is looking. I think it's very pretty. And then I'll be right back to close out this video. Okay, here's the look. It is done. I really love how it turned out. I'm so glad I combined those colors together, the soft black-based purpley tone with these mattes in the outer corner, and then usually I would go for high contrast. You know, usually I would take maybe that Fly shade that I used on my inner corner and just spread that on the rest of the lid, but today I decided to keep it a bit more monochromatic, more smoky eye, a bit more downplayed, and then there's the pop in the inner corner, and I just think it's so pretty. In my waterline, I used a light pink. This is Fluffy from ColourPop. I've got the Glow Reviver lip oil from e.l.f. in the shade Jam Session, and then as a little bit of face highlighter, I grabbed this from Kaleidos. This is the Space Age Starsetter highlighter, and that's everything. Well, I have mascara on, and that is everything. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, let me know if you think that this Dragon Eye palette resembles that Pat McGrath from the beginning of the video. I think it does. Like, big time. Once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. On Instagram, I first saw it from a little bit of gold glitter, and then later, not Udenzai, What's Up Beauty shared her story, and also there's another person on Instagram I used to follow. I don't think I'm connected with her anymore, but she was like, guys, is this the same color story? So yeah, absolutely, I see it big time. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think, of course, about the eyeshadow look, and tell me how you're doing with your 2025 goals, what you're focusing on, what your interests are, how you're doing as far as progress. Do you think that there's room for improvement? Have you just killed it right out of the gate? Do you need to have a bit of a comeback and, get back on track? I'd love to hear what's happening in your lives, and thank you for being here and listening to what's happening in my life. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to, and you want to see more content like this. I tend to upload several videos a week, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye.